terrorism emanating from Afghan soil towards Pakistan and prevent any further loss of life of Pakistanis. As a responsible state committed to regional peace and stability, Pakistan does not seek escalation, but urges the Afghan Taliban authorities to honor their commitment to the international community and address Pakistan's legitimate security concerns by taking verifiable action against terrorist entities, including FAK, TTP, FAH, and BLA. Pakistan. Now moving to Arab Israel, Pakistan strongly condemned Israel's attempt to extend its so-called sovereignty over parts of the occupied West Bank, including illegal Israeli settlements through a draft law introduced in the legislature of the occupying power. These actions constitute a flagrant violation of international law, relevant UN resolutions, and the inalienable right of the Palestinian people, including the right to self-determination. Pakistan reiterates its commitment to working with regional and international partners to uphold the right of the Palestinian people, including their right to self-determination, and ensure peace, justice, and dignity of the Palestinians. We also reaffirm our unwavering support for the Palestinian cause, including the establishment of an independent, sovereign, viable, and contiguous state of Palestine based on pre-1967 border with Al-Quds al-Sharif as its capital. And as you must have noticed, on 22nd October, the advisory opinion of International Court of Justice was issued, which we welcomed. The advisory opinion was on the obligations of Israel in relation to the presence and activities of the United Nations and other organizations and third states in relation to the occupied Palestinian territory. The ICJ has unequivocally established that Israel, as the occupying power, is under legal obligation to facilitate and not obstruct humanitarian relief operations by the United Nations and its entities, especially by the United Nations Relief and Work Agency for Palestinian Refugees in the Near East, UNRWA. The opinion also reaffirmed that 1. Israel's obligation to ensure that the Palestinians receive essential food supplies, water, shelter, fuel, and medical care, and 2. Israel has no right to unilaterally extend its domestic laws to occupied territory in any manner that would impede or undermine the Palestinian people's inalienable right to self-determination. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the fourth ruling by ICJ on Palestine since January 2024. You may recall previous ruling including on genocide in Gaza, on Rafah crossing, on Israeli occupation and settlement, and now the fourth one on humanitarian assistance. Pakistan participated in written and oral proceedings of the case before the ICJ. We call for the immediate and full implementation of the ICJ's advisory opinion. Building on this ICJ's decision, in a joint statement yesterday, the OIC and the State of Palestine, with Pakistan, Jordan, Indonesia, Turkey, Djibouti, Saudi Arabia, Oman, the Gambia, Qatar, Kuwait, Libya, Malaysia, Egypt, Nigeria, and the Arab League, issued a joint statement condemning in strongest terms the approval of Israeli Knesset of the 2 draft laws aiming to impose so-called Israel sovereignty over the occupied West Bank and on Israeli illegal colonial settlement as a blatant violations of international law, the United Nations Security Council resolution, particularly Resolution 2334, which condemns all Israeli measures aimed at altering the demographic composition, character, and status of the occupying Palestinian territories, including the status of East Jerusalem. They reaffirm that Israel has no sovereignty over the occupied Palestinian territory. The joint statement welcomed the advisory opinion of the International Court of Justice issued a day prior to the issuance of this joint statement. Moving on to the domestic front, ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan's Space and Upper Atmosphere Research Commission, the SPARCO, has achieved a major milestone with the successful launch of Pakistan's first hyperspectral satellite HS-1 from a Chinese satellite launch center. The satellite will enable precise monitoring and analysis of land use, vegetation, health, water resources, and urban development. It will enhance national capacities in precision agriculture, environmental monitoring, urban planning, and disaster management. This will improve resource management and strengthen resilience to climate-related challenges. It will identify geohazard risks, thereby promoting sustainable infrastructure development. This marks a pivotal step forward in Pakistan's space program and reaffirms SPARCO's professional excellence and highlights the long-standing collaboration between Pakistan and China in peaceful exploration of space and its application for socio-economic progress. The Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister commended the scientists of this project. On 16th October, Pakistan's Minister for Commerce, Jam Kamal Khan Sahab, along with the Minister for Transport of Ethiopia, Mr. Elumu Faisa, inaugurated the 5th Pakistan of Africa Trade Development Conference and Single Country Exhibition in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The event featured over 110 Pakistani exporters from 11 sectors under Pakistan's key initiative of Engage Africa policy, which aims to strengthen economic trade and investment ties with Africa, a region rapidly emerging as a global economic powerhouse. On sidelines of the event, the Minister of Commerce held a bilateral meeting with the chairperson of the African Union Commission, Mr. Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, at the headquarters of the African Union in Addis. The two leaders resolved to work towards institutionalizing cooperation in the field of agri-tech, food security, healthcare, education skills development, trade, and investment. The chairperson of the African Union was extended an invitation to visit Pakistan, which he gladly accepted. Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen, took part in the 19th mid-term ministerial meeting of the Non-Aligned Movement held from 15th to 16th October in Kampala, Uganda, under the theme Deepening Cooperation for Shared Affluence. The Pakistan delegation was led by our Special Secretary for Multilateral UN Affairs, Mr. Nabil Munir. In Pakistan's national statement, Special Secretary Nabil Munir emphasized NAM's vital role in promoting peace and development amid global challenges, including the unresolved disputes of Jammu and Kashmir and Palestine and the climate crisis. He reaffirmed Pakistan's support for NAM's principled stance on the right to self-determination for people under foreign occupation and condemned rising Islamophobia and war rhetoric in South Asia. On the sidelines of the meeting, Special Secretary Nabil Munir held a meeting with the Foreign Minister of Uganda and other NAM leaders. The meeting concluded with the adoption of Kampala Declaration and a comprehensive outcome document which recognized Pakistan's contribution to peace and stability in the Middle East. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan this week conveys its heartiest congratulations to Her Excellency Madame Saneh Takaichi on her election as the Prime Minister of Japan and on the appointment of His Excellency Motegi Toshimitsu as the Foreign Minister of Japan. We look forward to working closely with Japan to further strengthen the enduring friendship and cooperation between the two countries. I thank you all, and I now open the floor for question answers.
तर्जुमान दफ्तर ख़ारजा ताहिर इंदराबी की हफ्तावार न्यूज़ ब्रीफिंग आप मुलाहज़ा कर रहे थे। उनका ये कहना था कि गज़ा के अवाम के लिए इमदाद की तरसील को यकीनी बनाया जा रहा है। इसराइल को मकबूजा इलाकों में अपने कवानीन नाफिज करने की कतई इजाज़त नहीं है। हम ICJ की राय की मुकम्मल पासदारी का मुतालबा करते हैं। स्पार्को ने खलाई मैदान में अहम कामयाबी हासिल की है। तर्जुमान दफ्तर ख़ारजा का कहना था कि पाकिस्तान ने चीन के ताउन से अपना पहला हाइपर स्पेक्ट्रल सैटेलाइट कामयाबी से लॉन्च किया। फ़लस्तीनी रियासत 1967 से कबल की सरहदों के मुताबिक कायम हो, ऐसा कहना है पाकिस्तान का। इसके अलावा उन्होंने कहा कि पोलैंड के नायब वज़ीर आज़म ने पाकिस्तान का दौरा किया है। पाकिस्तान और पोलैंड के नायब वज़ीर आज़म के दरमियान वफूद की सतह पर मुज़ाकरात हुए। ये थी अब तक की PTV ताज़ा तरीन।
हर वक्त बर वक्त कश्मीर